I'm Jordan Rolling for BET Social and Paramount Network. We're here at the Tribeca Film Festival for the world premiere of Rest in Power, the Trayvon Martin story. Tonight is about the loss of a young black man's life and the movement it inspired.
Even though Trayvon is deceased, he still lives on, and he lives on through not only his parents and his family and friends, but also through supporters. We are continuing to fight for not only Trayvon, but all the Trayvon Martins in this country.
Rest in Power is kind of an acronym to say that, yeah, Trayvon is not here, but the power of his legacy is still here.
There's come a time in this country when white Americans need to acknowledge their privilege. They need to realize that they don't have it the same as people of color. And they need to realize that it's up to them to sacrifice that privilege in a pursuit of an equal society. And what's happened in this country is that people have gotten scared. And that fear is something as old as this country. People have used that fear to make money, to divide us, to do all sorts of things. So our hope is that white Americans can let down their guard and get vulnerable and come to terms with the fact that it doesn't matter how much money they have. They could be as poor as any of us, but it's not the same as people who are living in this country of color and people who are victims of chattel slavery. We need to wake up and get real about what this country is, and it's going to take white Americans sacrificing their privilege and coming to the table and acknowledging the racial divide with humility.
It's been 6 years since Trayvon's death. Why do you think it's so important for this documentary to be coming out right now, especially under the current administration?
I mean, the reality is that since Trayvon Martin's death and since the acquittal of his killer, we've had so many hashtag Black Lives Matter cases. But this was the first case. This was the patient zero case of Black Lives Matter. This was the first boy in the modern era about whom we use the phrase Black Lives Matter. He galvanized the country to understand the devaluation of black life and black boyhood in a way we had to learn again with Michael Brown, again with Tamir Rice, and again and again and again. But it's important to go back and tell this story because the difference between this case and those cases is that this was not a cop. And the idea that a civilian, that an ordinary person sort of behaving like a cop, even defying the police to behave the way they would behave, can exercise the same power of life and death over a child, over a black child, that a police officer could, and then achieve the same result in court, that's a terrifying reality.
Tonight was a great night. We caught up with people who not only love Trayvon Martin, but who are committed to continuing his legacy. For BET Social, I'm Jordan Rolling.